to start by, are there any announcements for items going on in the area?
Can anyone make an
Yes,
announcement?
anybody.
I'm Laura Henderson from Disconnect Hampton Road. I know some of you in the room, and it's great because it's a networking group, so perfect subject. So I have a networking event on May 23rd, which is our Disconnect Gives Back event. All the money, all the proceeds from the silent auction, admission, and raffle go to our 16 nonprofit members. It's at Waterside District on May 23rd, I forget it's May, from 8 to 10. So if you can come, please come.
Awesome.
AM, thank you. Thank you. At bizconnecthr.com if you'd like information.
Is it the Harbor Club?
Yeah, Harbor Club at
Okay.
Waterside.
May 23rd.
Third.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else? I don't see Steve here, but I know he has 757 pitch coming up. May something at the percolator.
May 15th.
May, yes.
See, somebody knows. Flyers back there. I think deadline's closed for apps. And startup night is at 1701 May 31st. 30th? Somewhere around there. Check it out. Is that it?
31st.
Huh?
Whichever
Whatever
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah, from 6 to 8.
Do you have an announcement about your software?
Well, no, other than my app is now a free app. We rebranded. If you think that's announce-worthy, then yes.
It is,
That's a lot of
definitely.
work, so
Yes.
congratulations.
Yes.
What
I
is
have
your-
flyers to hand out.
What is your?
Can you tell us about
It's
it? Or-
called Global Expert Country Guides. It is an app that is geared towards travelers to other countries. And it tells you everything you need to know to navigate this particular country.
Wow, that's interesting.
I have not.
Plan a trip.
All right, is that everything? Wow, nothing
Do
today.
we have any people?
Yeah, anybody here for the first time? I was gonna say, I see at least 2 new faces. Welcome. We're 1 Million Cups. We meet every Wednesday morning here, except for a couple times a year, from 9 to 10 a.m. And we allow businesses to pitch, present, and get feedback on their company. The format is a 6-minute presentation followed by Q&A. We're sponsored by the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City. We're number 73 of like 180 communities across the U.S. who meet to have a cup of coffee on Wednesday morning. I'm one of the organizers. David and Ray, Karen, and Julian could not make it today. You can find us on Facebook, Virginia Beach, 1 Million Cups Virginia Beach, or online on YouTube to find out upcoming presentations. So without further ado, I'm going to present Gary Locke with Path Zero. I had it earlier. You made me all nervous. Saying it's wrong.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name's Gary Locke, and I'm here to talk to you about a networking tool. Excuse me, I'm sorry, the allergies. I quit taking Zyrtec 2 days ago because I forgot that I had been sick with allergies, and now it's hitting me again. So that was really dumb of me. I built a networking tool over the last 4 years that I want to talk to you about today. So what brings me here today at this very moment is that I am very bad at remembering people's names. Right? I consider it extremely bad. I'm so bad that I have many sad stories of horrible, awkward moments where I forgot somebody's name and it was a very uncomfortable situation. And I'm sure some of you in the room can sympathize. So I will tell you one story real quick. The straw that broke the camel's back. Spring of 2013, I had been gone for a year overseas. I came back and we were pretty new to the neighborhood when I moved in there right before I left, so I only knew people so much. I was at a social event in the neighborhood. A gentleman walked up to me, big smile on his face, walked across the room, shook my hand, said, "Hi, Gary." He starts going right into a conversation that we obviously previously had before. I knew the conversation, but I didn't remember him. So about 30 seconds into it, I stopped and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, what's your name?" I watched his face go from big smile to devastated. Like, I can't believe you forgot my name. And at that very moment, I said, you know what? I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna figure something out. So 5 years later, I'm here standing in front of you, which seems like a damn long time. But I'm going to show you what I built to try and fix that problem. I also am happy to announce that I just retired out of the Navy on May 1st after 30 years, and so now I can come to Million Cups because I used to have to work every morning, not in the morning, and now I get to embrace the entrepreneur lifestyle. So, who here is good at remembering names? Anybody? Really? Okay. Always one in the room, always one. It ruins my shtick. Okay, are you really good or are you just better than the people next to you that aren't good at all? Okay, my theory is that nobody's really good at remembering names, and some people are really bad at remembering names. So, if you're all like me, you're meeting new people all the time, especially people in this room. I always tell Bob, I see Bob 80% of the places I go, I always see Bob's face. So you're meeting new people. But if you can't remember the information that you previously learned about a person, then you failed at some level to connect with them, okay? So let's just assume it's people you like, because people you don't like, you don't care about, and you forget. But people that you had a good conversation with, and you want to get to know better, you forget that information. So if I have a good conversation with you, if we have something in common, I want to build on that. So the next time that we meet, I don't have to play that game of, hey honey, can you introduce yourself? Because I forgot their name. I want to remember the conversation. I want to get to know you better. And mostly, I want to remember your name. All right, so let's talk about how we connect. All right, the way we exchange contact information has not changed in a long time. All right, business cards. Business cards have been around forever. In fact, I did a little Google search the other day. I didn't have a lot of time, but I traced it back. It started in the 17th century in Europe. Before that, it was in China in different renditions, different reasons, but business cards have been around forever. Technology has changed everything except business cards. We still use business cards, all right? We still type information into our phones today. Cell phones came out in the 90s, roughly, right? We all got one sometime in the 90s, late 90s. We typed in information. We still do it. I don't do it as much, but I still catch myself, hey, what's your number? You know, we'll exchange information. That is a very outmoded way to do it. In fact, it takes two people on the average, but almost 2 minutes to exchange information if they're really good at it. And if I challenge you and I time you, you'll take 4 minutes because you're going to try and go fast and beat me to prove me wrong. It's a waste of your time, and especially when you're meeting a lot of people and you're trying to network and meet more people, and while you're talking to somebody, the other person walks out the door. Now, on the other hand, social media, the internet, offers a lot of technologies to help us connect. Unfortunately, they're not really, most of them aren't made for connecting face-to-face. They are made for your face in a computer screen. Right, so this is where my app comes in. There is a gap that exists between connecting at the business card level and at the social media level. Excuse me. Business cards are very useful for connecting face-to-face. They're efficient but useful. The social media is great for networking with people, but it's not useful for interacting face-to-face. All right, so I have found no technology that supports me in a room of people when I'm connecting with people. So I decided to try and build that. Okay, so what does my app do? My app does several things, but we're going to boil it down to two things. My app provides one place to store all of your contact information, everything. You can take notes all day on bar napkins. You can bring a bunch of business cards home. But what are the odds that you're going to take those and put them in one place so that you have them stored so that you can recall that information whenever you need it? All right? So the second thing it does is it provides instant transmission of contact information to each other by virtue of being in the same space. If you have the app and I have the app, you push one button, you share all your information with me, I push a button, I share all my information with you. It's instant, there's no more taking notes, and there's no more, once you do it, it's stored in one place. And also, it doesn't say it, but it organizes better than any other phone book, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, so here is the page of my app. This is a contact list. What you'll see at the top is, it says cards, all cards. Okay, well we call them cards. They're e-cards, profile cards, but we call it all cards. But this is a contact list just like your phone. Now, you'll notice it only has 46 people in it, and it does have George Costanza in it. But I made this for a demo. I can't demo it because I don't have the actual cord today. After the presentation, I was going to use this to answer your questions. I just have to answer them the best I can. Anyway, so also you'll notice the difference between normal contact. You got a picture, and I like the titles. I like the context when I have people's names. I don't just want a name because if it's been years, I'll be like, I don't know who that person is, but if I have the context, I can remember who they are. All right, so what's different about my app than a normal phone list? Okay. If you have several hundred people in your card, and I'm sure, ma'am, you do, you probably have thousands of people in your phone list because you talk to a lot of people. But you don't remember everybody's name, but I bet you almost everybody you see, you remember where you know them from. You know this person from the law firm or the bowling league or whatever. You know something, you just don't remember their name. But how do you, when you want to call them, hey, I need to talk to them, they had offered me this information. I don't know how to find them. But you do. All right, you remember where you found them. So imagine that everybody is grouped into some way that you can remember. It could be a location, it could be a year, it could be a date, it could be a color, whatever it is that you use. Okay, so church, PTA, bowling league, Million Cup, 1701, 757 pitch, hatch, startup night. Everything you do, Bob's in like 8 of my groups because I see Bob everywhere. So I know his name, but so I don't need it as much. 1 minute? Ooh, I'm sorry, I'll go faster.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let me show you how it works. So I can't find somebody's name, but I know how to find them. Okay, this is the groups, okay? So you go to groups. So at this point, I'm going to tell you a real story. Last October, I was competing in the NATO Innovation Competition. I showed up at 8 in the morning, I was supposed to, there's about 40 people in the room. I saw 3 gentlemen from 757 Pitch that I had been to a couple times that run it. And I don't remember their names, but I shook all their hands and said hi to them. And I said, so I opened my phone, I went to 757 Pitch, and lo and behold, there was Jerry, Steve, and Marty. All right, so I didn't remember their name, but I had talked to them. So I used my phone. You can look at your phone, nobody knows what you're doing. I was like, okay, I walked up to Steve, I said, hey, good morning, Steve. How you doing? Gary Locke, I met you at the last 757 Pitch. Steve says, hey, great to see you again, Gary. Most likely he didn't remember my name, but it opened up that connection. It allowed us information that we already learned once, we get to use again instead of losing it. So let me go back into the normal thing is I was showing you, if you don't know somebody's name, okay, let's just assume I was looking for Steve. Let's say that guy, I go to 757 Pitch, I click on Steve. All right, so what happens? There's Steve. What's the difference in a normal phone? You get a picture. Also, what you can't see in the picture is there is a notes section. So you can take notes about something that you talked about or a date you met, and it stays with it. So you always can find that note again. There's also 2 links, link to pictures, link to business card, electronic business card, okay? Right now, you can only get 1 picture saved in there because it's free right now, and I can't pay for the storage for 1 million pictures, but eventually we're gonna open that up as a freemium. But also, you can put your business card in there. You take a picture of it, it crops it, it sticks it in there, it links it. So now business cards do not have to be carried in your pocket. If we all have the app and we all exchange electronically, you get the business card with it. So you click there, and then the business card will show up nice and big on your phone for you to read. All right, the other side. We talked about organization. Let's talk about how we connect. All right, so if you and I both have the app and we're at a social event, I say, hey, we want to exchange information. You go to the broadcast function. This is the broadcast page. You set yourself to available. You will now be seen by anybody else. You create a handle, you can use your name, whatever you want to do, but I would do a handle because you don't want people, if they're looking, to know who you are. So what happens is, hey, we have exchanged information. What's your username? Angelique. Okay, Angelique, I'm going to click on you. You get this screen. I had 3 cards. I only have 2 now, I'm not native. But you have as many cards as you have hats. You could be, you have your job. You could be a youth minister, little league coach. There's so many things that you do. Brittany runs Million Cups, so that's a different thing than her job from Where to Wheel. So she could have a lot of cards. Whatever social function you're in is the card you're going to use. It was just a personal thing, so I sent her my personal card. And there you got it. The card was shared like that. Within 2 seconds, she has the card in her queue. She accepts it. It is now in her contact list. She adds it to a group where she can be from. And now she can always find it again. You can do groups. This whole room, we could have a meeting. Like your boss says, hey, show up for a meeting. They meet these 20 people. How do you get contact information now? You either have a sign-in sheet where everybody puts it, and half the emails you can't read, or everybody exchanges business cards, and everybody has to type in all that information. How about if we just walk by virtue of being in a room, we all exchange information like that. So one person has to host it, click create group, you fill in the information, give it a name, location. Now it's easy, you actually pick that, and it puts out a map. You pick location, you just easily click on it. Give it a time, which seems strange, but if we're meeting from 1 to 2, some people might be late, some people might leave early, but everybody will be included in that time frame. So you give it a time. You can also give it a password. Like if there's a bunch of meetings going on in the area, you don't want people like getting into each other's meetings. So if you give it a short passcode, everybody in the room just says, hey, click 1, 2, 3, 4. You're in this meeting. What happens is now it shows up here. Anybody that walks in says, hey, go click on groups, go to beta test. Click in, join the meeting. Here's an example. I did a beta test last year. I created a group called beta testing. 13 people clicked in. All 13 people, we all received each other's information. Just like that. Walk away with it. It's in your group. You can find everybody that you just met. So if you didn't get their name yet, you now have their information. All right. This is a very smart man. I agree with what he says. I think it's very important to remember people. If you remember the first thing that was in my slide, it said, remember people, network better. That's my value proposition. I think by just being able to remember a name, you can at least walk across the room and say hi again versus being embarrassed and not going over or avoiding them in an aisle in Kroger. Okay, it's one step closer to getting to know somebody. Last slide, why past zero? Because if you meet somebody and you spend hours talking to them, you had a great time, and you don't get some information, you don't get a business card or something, you forget who they are. 6 months later, you see them at Kroger, and you can't remember. You say, hey, honey, introduce us, because I can't remember much about this person anymore. So you go back to zero. You had that information, you lost it. All right, so get past zero. It's actually, I love it because it's a double entendre. It's get past zero, and get past zero. And I also love this picture because it's the zero in the mirror. My wife, it's so childish, but that's me. And that's it. And I'm sorry, Brittany, for going over.
You're fine.
I confess to Brittany, I did not time this. I just knew it was much shorter than usually my rambles, so I just figured it under 6 minutes. Anyway, that's it. Questions and answers. I was going to demo the whole thing live, but I did not bring a cord that I needed to bring, and I'm sorry. Anyway, that's it. Thank you. Oh, yeah, questions about it?
Does it interact with Outlook contacts?
It does, actually.
So if you get a contact here, it'll push it to Outlook so that
No.
you sync up.
It's a one-way. You can take it from Outlook to your app. Once it's in the app, you can click on the phone number or the email in the app and call somebody or email them. I'm not necessarily interested in pushing people away from my app right now. I'm trying to get them to come in, but there is a function in there. You can go to your Outlook list and you can click on them all, and it'll incorporate them, and it'll put them in a pre-made group called Contacts. Or something contacts. And anyway, then you can move to whatever group.
When I had contacts on my phone and then I sync it up, and it gets to my computer. So for my computer, when I'm sending emails, I don't have to retype it in there. So how do you get the contact that you have in past zero to your computer contact so when you're doing emails?
Actually, you know what? I think I mixed two things up. I was thinking of your phone list that incorporates, not Outlook. When you said Outlook, for some reason I thought of phone list. There's not a way to connect on that right now.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes,
2 questions. Is the app available for download right now?
it is.
And the second question is, as a networking organization, am I able to put an ad onto your app?
That's a really good question. We have banner ads. I never thought about actually having a space to let people sponsor and put ads. I don't know why I didn't think about that. That's a great idea. We don't, but we will. That's at the top of the list. I like that. That's a great idea. Thank you. And by the way, I already forgot your name again, and I know I've heard your name a million times because my wife knows you.
My name is Laura.
Laura,
From
thank you.
BizConnect Hampton
I'm
Roads.
really bad at names. As soon as you
It's
say it, I
okay.
start listening to you talking and go out the window.
I'll put my contact info in your
Great,
on
thank
your
you.
app.
And it is iOS only. We haven't done Android yet.
Oh,
So
iOS
sorry.
only.
Sorry, I should have said that at the beginning before you
It's
got
not
to it.
really.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
I enjoy the concept, but I have a question to you about possible competition. What's keeping, say, Apple from integrating this in with their contacts?
Absolutely nothing. Nothing. But if I didn't do it, nobody's doing it. I hope that all my years of love and labor work out, but if it doesn't, it is going to change the way we do things.
Is there anything proprietary about what you're doing?
Actually, I take that back. There is one. There is, we don't have it in, we didn't put it in this level, but in the next update, we're gonna have the ability for you to share an entire group of people with someone else. So let's assume you got a business meeting that you go to quarterly. You can't travel. You tell your mate in your cubicle farm, hey, I need you to go for me. Hey, I'm gonna send you, boom, I'm gonna send you all the contacts so you know who to talk to, who to call, and who to meet up with. And boom, like that, they are in a group in your phone. And when we went to patent some things, that was one of the black and white things that the lawyers said had not been patented yet. We have some other patents going, but it's still gray area, when they're parsing the words, whether they'll apply or not. So it could be big, could be not. Morat, you had his hand up first. Sorry,
Mark?
what do you got, Morat?
Well, what's your business model? So you just want to do paid premium version?
It's starting out free because, you know, I read somewhere that 9 out of 10 people won't pay $1 to check out an app, so it's free. I want to keep it as free or cheap as possible. I envision that the average user with a few hundred contacts is going to be free. Once you go over a certain level of storage, and we haven't figured that out yet, we're going to charge. What we see though are salespeople and like networking people are going to have thousands of contacts. That's going to take a lot of storage data. We're going to, ask some type of money, maybe $5, $6, $7 a month to pay for that. We're not looking to try and make a lot of money off of usership, if that's a word. We have advertising just to help pay for the storage. We want to get the freemium model to help pay for it as we go along and grow and pay for, the cost. But we're just looking to pay for it as it grows, build it big, and then someday maybe a big company just wants to buy it from us and we can move on.
A follow-up question, and is my data safe? Basically, are you ever gonna share it?
No.
That's
We are not.
one thing that is very important that
Yeah,
you
it's
should
funny,
state.
if you look at the privacy policy now, I think it covers that, but we are parsing the words in there to make sure people understand. We don't even have analytics to access your information. We don't care. We're just trying to build the app so that people can share it with information with each other. At this point, we're not mining data or anything like that. It's just,
Do you store it online, or do we
it's stored
store
in
it?
the cloud.
So we don't store it in our phone.
It's not stored in your phone, it's stored on the cloud. Yes, because that way, if your phone's stolen, you didn't just lose everything. I mean, I guess you can be backed up, but it's more efficient. It's not clogging your phone with a lot of data, storage data. We were afraid that people would have too much storage, and they're like, I can't use it because my phone's bogged out. So we decided to go cloud. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name either.
Kelly.
Okay, I heard her say it.
So I just have a couple questions. So one, can you put someone in multiple groups? So you said,
Yep.
Bob, you've seen 12 places, so can you
Yeah,
put him
there's
in
a
a few?
function, you can, when you go into their card, it shows the groups they're in, right in the
Okay.
card. You can say, add a group, boom, and you can put them, you can take them out of group, put them in. So literally, they're in your contacts list once, and then they can be in whatever groups that you know.
Okay. Are you able to get it online at all? So like you had mentioned Outlook, would
It's-
there just be like a web app that I can go to and
Right now,
email
it's
them?
only iPhone app
Okay.
or tablet.
So there's no website interface?
No, there is not at this time. We decided to go this, and then start getting feedback on what people need, and if that's a need, then we'll be glad to go that way. Laura, you had your hand up. Did you not?
Oh, no.
Well, somebody, okay, I'm sorry.
So you said it's all the information in the cloud.
Yes.
Am I able to, if I have my data off or my Wi-Fi off, am I still able to use the app?
That's what the company that built it said, but I haven't tested it lately, but one time I checked it, I couldn't. When I didn't have internet access or Wi-Fi, I couldn't get on it. So that is the theory, yes, but I'm not gonna say yes and then have you check it out. It should be, and if it's not, they're gonna fix it, but I haven't tested it lately. Sorry, go ahead.
So, if I want to get someone's contact information quickly, they also have to have the Fast Zero app on their phone?
Yes.
Is there a way or plans to make it so that I can, hey, you don't have Fast Zero, it's gonna take you longer for you to download the app than you wanna spend passing your contact
Well-
information. Is there a way to interface where I can just take a picture of a business card and it's gonna enter it in?
Yes, there is, in fact, if you could see my app, I have a couple hundred people, probably half of them, I created the card myself. And it's really quick. In fact, let's assume there's a situation where you meet somebody, and you don't meet them enough to know, to say, hey, let's exchange information, give me your phone number. They're like, hey, I just met you, But you can easily, I've met people that I thought, I want to get to know them. You quickly put their name in, and then you Google them, 9 times out of 10, people find their picture. I got Bob. Bob didn't give me anything. I got this picture and his information. He gave me his business card, and then I linked it up. I did it all myself.
Did you have to type in the business card yourself, or?
No, you saw that, it's a
Take a
picture.
picture of it?
I actually like the picture. I don't like taking a picture in digital. First of all, like Camcard, half the time, 50% of the time, you have to fix it because it doesn't show up perfectly. I like the picture, I like the context. I'm fine with that, especially with this card. You have an e-card, has your information, but it has your business card that has a little bit of different information, that visual. I'm a visual guy, so and the feedback's good. So you guys can tell me maybe that's wrong, but I like it that way. I think it's good. So what happens is, like I talked about, you build your own cards under the My Card section, and then you add your own business card in there, and you share that. And in theory, that's what I'm hoping is like Facebook. There were the first 2 guys on Facebook. They didn't have anybody to talk to, but it grew. So it's the same thing. Is there a lot of people on it in this area? No. But eventually, I'm hoping there will be. So the more people that get on it, like Facebook, the more people you can talk to, the more people you can trade information with. Yes.
My question goes to that, but I really like the app, it's a good idea, and that's coming from someone who doesn't forget people's names. But, so it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, as we know, to change consumer behavior, even if you have a good value proposition. So, and a lot of that is marketing and effort. What is your plan so that everyone in the area is using Pass Zero? How are you gonna get them on? How are you gonna intrigue me enough to download it, play with it, share it, and get other people on? What's your
That's a
plan
good
there?
question, because I thought building the app was hard for years. And marketing the app is so much harder.
Yes.
We started, I was looking at getting an animation video made, 45 seconds for like $5,000. My partners said, that's crazy, we need to save that money for something else, and they were right. We are now just doing a couple of dollars a day on Facebook locally, the Hampton Roads area, just keeping that word out there. I have a Facebook page for it. I did one video. I should be trying to do a video every few days, but for me, I'm not a camera guy. It takes me a little bit longer. I actually built a script for another one. I just haven't got around to making it yet, but that's just local videos. At some point, I'm thinking about maybe doing radio, because we looked at the pricing and it's not that expensive. And I know somebody else that did it once and he got a lot of good business from people that are stuck in their cars and can't listen to anything else. Yes, sir, back there.
Are you familiar with Cardcast?
Cardcast? Sorry, is that the word Cardcast?
Cardcast is a business card app. But the other thing I was wondering, let's say you have several businesses and you want to have all the business cards related to all the people in that particular business. Can you have separate files for that in your system?
Yeah, it actually has groups and subgroups. So you can actually, I don't talk about subgroups that much. It's not built the way I totally envision it. I love the picture, you saw the group. I'm a visual person. It's easy for me to flip through and see the logo and go stop right there. I don't like the words. But when you go to subgroups, it's just words. So I don't really, I will use it someday. You'll have enough people in your app, if you use it, that you would go to subgroups. I'm going to update it so that it actually does more pictures for the groups. But yes, it does have that.
The problem now is I got 5 different businesses going on and I need to keep everybody into that. Right now, they're all mixed up in the master file.
You could organize, it would organize that way. That one level down, right, but it doesn't keep going. You can only go one level down subgroups. I'm sorry. We introduced ourselves this morning. We met before, and I already forgot his name.
My name is Josh.
Josh, thank you.
So I do have a background in app development. Is there a QR code function to it?
No.
Okay, so this is what you can do. For people who don't have the app already, they can use, so Snapchat already has a QR code functionality, right? And your Pass Zero, you said that it has all of your stuff linked to it. What you can do is that web page that you have, your card, can have a web URL, right? So let's say I have Snapchat. I can go up to you, hold Snapchat on the button, it'll take a QR code snap of your card, which takes you to the web URL, so I never have to download the app until if I don't have the time. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what we do offer is that if I meet you, or first of all, if I want to if I meet you and you don't have the app, I can send you an email that'll, from my app, if I just get your email, with a link to download the app in your phone. And it'll also give you my card when you download it. Not the same thing, but it does, that was our answer to getting more people on the app. I'm sorry, does that answer your question?
No, that answered my question.
All right, thank you, though, that's a great idea. Yes.
Does it have any messaging capabilities? Say I'm here at 1 Million Cups, I want to send a text message to everyone in my 1 Million Cups group. Am I able to send it to all the members?
Yes.
Well, not forever and ever, only when the group is open.
Only while the group is open. So let's say we're having a conference. During the day, everybody is connected, and if the person running the conference wants to send text out, that message will go to everybody.
Interesting, because I also run food service, and say I'm in Philadelphia, I have 100 people working for me. I'm not always going to be around these 100 people. I might be at my hotel needing to send a message out to all of them. So I wouldn't be able to send a message saying, hey, I need you to be here this certain time.
No.
I think it's a feature worth considering.
And my wife's taking notes. Thank you. This is great feedback. Yes, sir.
Yeah, when are you guys looking at getting on Android and getting into the Google Play Store? Because you're leaving out a bunch of
As soon as possible. We we want to make sure, we launched soft launch 3 weeks ago. You know, we found a couple problems that the companies working on it right now. Right now I'm in test flight. In fact, I'm gonna get together with them, I think this afternoon, do the final checks and test flight. That update will go through iTunes. Once we hit that point, then I can sit down with my partners and we can finalize our plans. It's just up in the air until we get that done. It took longer. We started, I shouldn't admit it, we started this a few months ago. We thought we were at the point, but we just kept running into little snags, technology snags. But I think we're about to hit that point, and then we can move on. It's 3 months. I already talked to a couple companies, 3 months to get it done. So I just haven't done it yet. But as soon as we start that clock, we can have it out, you know, maybe later this summer. Yes.
Is there a way to link someone's contact to their LinkedIn at all? Because I know a lot of times when I meet people, I'm like, I don't really know what they do, so I'd like to know who they are. You know, maybe they're CEO of some company.
No, that's great. That's a great point, but it does not. But that's-
Okay.
Can you put it in the notes section? I noticed a notes section when you create your contact. Could you put links?
Oh, yeah.
And then
Well,
when you
right now, that's a good point. You put them, but it wouldn't link. I don't think it's set up to hit it and go on.
Well, but it's there at
It's there.
least.
You checked it out once before. I think Jason said the same thing.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. Josh?
No, I was gonna say, the previous project that I was working on, we deep linked social media, your handle, so that when they would click it, it would open up Instagram and take them to wherever, or open up LinkedIn and take them to there. We did that with Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and it worked very easily, and it was a lot easier, because I know some people like me don't care to share their phone number, but I do care to share my Instagram handle.
Perfect. Good point. Thank you. Bob?
How are you financing it? It seems like you don't want to sell ads, and you just.
Well, not that I don't want to sell ads, we just hope not to go with banners. I didn't think about personal.
You just hope for acquisition? Is that the end game?
That is my ultimate end game hope. I don't have all the answers down the line. I don't have a black and white roadmap for you to say it's gonna be this, this, and this. We're still working on that. How this was financed? Me. I sold investments, I paid cash for it. I believed in it enough to build it. And so now we are cash strapped, and now we are looking to get users, get investors, and move on from there.
What kind of investor would you be looking for?
Well, somebody give me money.
No, there has to be something in it for the investor.
Right, they make money, they get a percentage of the company, they get to ride it up to the top.
Yeah, they get a percentage of a company that has no revenue.
Correct. That's true. But users count. Facebook, when did Facebook start having great revenue? You know, when did they finally go from users to revenue? You gotta get users first, you gotta prove that it's viable, and then we'll figure that one out.
It's just a long.
It is, I understand. It is a long trip, it's been a long trip, and it is what it is. I'm learning this as I go. I spent 30 years in the Navy. I didn't learn this, this wasn't my life. It was black and white engineering stuff, and now it's a whole new world. And I'm learning as I go. Josh?
Are you familiar with white labeling apps?
No.
Okay, so white labeling an app is you take an app and you strip it of all its branding. So what you can do is you can actually, so this is another revenue stream. So what you can do is you can go to, like, they have 3-day conferences everywhere, right? What you can do is you can go to that conference leader and say, hey, I have this app. I can label this app with all of your branding on it. So the first day when people walk through the door, they download the app. Those 3 days that they're going through it, they can gain contacts, and then everybody's just going to go back to wherever they came from. So then now your market is not only people. Now your market is also conferences.
Okay.
And at those conferences, you can charge people X amount of money for white labeling it, and then they can use it for those 3 days.
Okay, that sounds great.
And I see sponsorship opportunities with that as well.
And almost all conferences ask you to download an app now that has your ticket and all the itinerary and the schedule, where you check in now.
Yeah, I have one of those attendee hub, and I can share that with you, and you can see how it works. It's actually a very good idea. So basically, you can make it as a conference business card changing app, and after the conference, the data still stays with you.
Okay.
But it'd
And-
be even nicer if after the conference, you made an offer to the people that have the app, hey, would you like to convert over to Pass Zero? We've already got your data and shift it, and then they could use it in other settings. You'd actually make it go viral from that.
Yeah, after the conference, it just
Yeah,
switches
would you like to
the
upgrade
original
to
brand.
Pass
Yeah.
Zero? Yeah.
Another way you could share is like, say I get 5 of my friends to join your app, I would get extra contacts that I could add to my personal profile.
Yeah.
That way, instead of charging past 200, I can, earn credits to get free contacts.
I like that credit thing, because I was one of the first users of Waze, and I have gotten probably 100 people on it. I love Waze, the app for finding, GPS.
You gotta give people a reason to want to spread it.
But they never thank me for all the people I tell about it, so I like that idea. I'm sorry, you got a question all the way in the back?
So you outsource all programming on this, correct?
I did, because I had no idea how to.
So when you're talking about making changes for like events and stuff like that, you almost need someone in-house to make those changes quickly. So if you have to go back to the company that is third party, you have to get on their schedule to make an event, it's gonna be difficult. At some point, you're gonna have to bring that programming in-house.
I completely agree. We've already talked about it. I actually tried at one point to bring that in. It was very hard to do when there's no money and you're very small. And coders have their own things going on. So eventually, if we can, grow and get some investment, I would love to do that. I would like to be very quickly reactive instead of having to do those requirements and sit down and all that boring stuff. I completely agree with you. What else?
How
I'm
large
sorry,
is your-
you had your
Sorry.
hand up.
No,
I'm
it's
so
fine.
sorry.
How large is your company now? Is it just you?
I have 3 partners. I was my own self for almost 3 years, and I realized last year that I couldn't take care of everything, and I'm not smart in all the areas, so I brought in some people that knew the other stuff that I didn't know. I developed it, so I'm the product development guy, because it was my idea, but they're helping me with everything else. It was a percentage of ownership of the company, so they're working for equity.
And how do you think your company is going to grow over the next year? Like, are you going to add more staff? Like he was mentioning, add a developer. What are your plans?
Our
for growth?
intention first is to grow users, all right? And once we grow users and we prove that it's viable, then I still have some money, I still have funding to pay for another build for the Android. That's our next goal, is to build the Android, get more users, show its viability, get investors, and then expand, grow the company as needed when it goes beyond us 4. And like we talked about, getting coders and actually doing the work now. I don't know if this is a 2-year process or a 10-year process, and I have no idea what's ahead.
Actually, going Android is like Apple users usually connect with Apple. Like they use iTunes, they use everything Apple. So Android is more exploring a community, I think. So you will probably have better chance of getting more users in Android than iOS.
Well, and 3-4 years ago, the stats were, it was the iOS 60%, Android 40%. But over the years, it's actually switched. Now it's 60% Android, 40% iOS. So it is what it is. That's what I started with. And that's just the way it'll go. Anything else?
Last question. What can 1 million cups do for you?
What can 1 million cups?
Yeah.
Is this a trick question? Is there a standard answer I have to know, or can I just make up my own?
You just pick out your own.
Okay, so I've only been to one, and I don't remember you asking anybody else this question. What can it do for me? It actually, I don't know what it can, I don't know exactly how to answer that, but I tell you what, I just went to my first one 2 weeks ago, and I sat in the back. I showed up a little bit after it started, and I love the crowds that come here. I love your energy. I love the people, and I'm very excited to be here. And I think it's a great way to meet people, and definitely it's getting Million Cups is helping me get my idea out there for people to see. And I'm very thankful, and it took me a year to get here because I had to work every Wednesday morning, and I'm very excited, and I'm going to start coming every morning. And I don't know if that exactly answers your question, but that's what I got.
Nope, that works.
All right.